Welcome to Allen Avenue Universalist Church's in-person and online worship. Whether today is your first time here or you've been coming for years, we are so glad you are with us. My name is Carrie Rasco, and my pronouns are she and her. I'm a member of the board. We are a growing community that transforms lives through the power of love. Our mission calls us to celebrate diversity, encourage spiritual growth, and promote social responsibility while we travel on and care for the earth. Welcome also to those at home who are joining us on Zoom. If you're attending for the first time, please go to our website and fill out the welcome card so we can know more about you. Today's announcements. We have one from Terry and Celeste about the holiday fair, which is coming up in just 2 weeks. Please look over 3 weeks. Sorry, it said 2 weeks. Please look over the insert this morning detailing the kinds of contributions to the holiday market that you can make in just 3 weeks. In the foyer, you'll find our sign-up sheet, which is a big poster board, and a box that you can donate used jewelry to be refurbished, and a tub full of baskets for you to use to build your own theme basket. Please take one. Take home the insert and use it to inspire you. Thank you from Terry and Celeste. We have one other announcement from my sister, Kathy Rasco. For all you bakers out there, you have an opportunity to donate baked goods individually wrapped for our Holiday Fair Cafe. And you can contact Kathy Rasco for more information. Now we invite you all to take this opportunity to silence your cell phones so that we can be fully present to one another. After the service, please join us in conversation. We encourage you to find someone you've never met before and introduce yourself. Those on Zoom may stay on and connect with one another. And now let us center our hearts and minds with the ringing of the bell.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Tara, and my pronouns are she, her, and they, them. I am the transitional minister here at Allen Avenue, and I am delighted to be with you this morning. It is good to be together. Our opening words this morning are by one of my favorite poets, Andrea Gibson. They write, "There is so much love in consistently asking, 'Who are you now?' There is so much love in letting our loved ones be continually new to us. To love someone isn't so much to know them as it is to know their never-ending becoming. Come into this space where we are all a work in progress. Come into this time where we'll ponder together the ways in which we are like the tides, ebbing and flowing and continually made new. Come and be welcome. You are joyfully called to worship." African-American science fiction writer Octavia Butler writes in her novel, Parable of the Sower, all that you touch, you change. All that you change changes you. The only lasting truth is change. In the spirit of transformation, in the spirit of becoming, and in the spirit of change, I light our chalice this morning. And we light this second candle today, this candle of community. And today we lift up those veterans who we honored on Friday, Veterans Day. We pray that their hearts know peace and that their spirits know healing. Would you take a breath with me? Blessed be. Our opening hymn this morning is I Brought My Spirit to the Sea, number 4 in your gray hymnal or on the screen. Please rise in body or in spirit as we join our voices as one. How about now? There we go. So I want to know who here has heard of, read, or watched The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? All right. Can anybody tell me how Lucy discovers Narnia? Huh? She goes into a cupboard. She was hiding. Anyone else? Lucy looks for the perfect place to hide and opens up the door to a big wardrobe. She goes through the door and into the way back of this big wardrobe, and suddenly she's in a whole different world. A magical world with witches and fauns and talking beavers. And wouldn't it be cool if there were a magical world beyond every door? Right? I think it would be. When Lucy opened the door to Narnia, it didn't look like anything particularly special. It was just a boring door to a wardrobe full of clothes and coats. But across the threshold, once she went all the way in, she discovers magic. Lucy already had 1 foot inside Narnia before she realized what was happening. We're going to see a couple of pictures up here on the screen in a moment, because it's not magic, it's John. And John is a human. So what you're going to see is me. What you're going to see is a door. Can anybody tell me what you think might be across the threshold of that door? A what? Shout it out, folks. A bedroom. Anyone else? Magic. Mystery. All right, next photo, please. How about this door? What's on the other side of this door? Light. Freedom. Gardens, trees. Any of you? All right, next photo, please. How about this door? What might be on the other side of this door? A courtyard? A family? A bathroom. Amazing. We love a bathroom. All right, one more final photo. How about this door? A stairwell, a slide? Nowhere. A running person. Any other guesses? Out, escape. All right. Thank you, John. So many of the thresholds of our lives are like these doors. We don't know what we're crossing into until we're already halfway or even farther there. The door of a church, like our church, takes us down a pathway of growth, perhaps, that we may never have expected. The door of the doctor's office suddenly opens out into our lives with a hard diagnosis. A restaurant door opens onto a first date and echoes forward into the relationship of a lifetime that perhaps we never expected. A beloved person's door closes behind you and sends you out into the world heartbroken. The door to a library or a gym or a dance studio or an art studio introduces you to a life's passion you may have never otherwise discovered. We cross these thresholds, these doors, every day of our lives, no matter how familiar they are. The worlds within and the worlds without us change us. Given our lives' reality of constant change, that things are always shifting and moving, every day we open our front door, the same front door, perhaps, we step out into a world that is new since the day before. And that world is new because we are new each and every day. And our newness and the newness of the world is always awaiting our discovery. Therein ends our time for all ages.
In a few moments, some of us will leave the sanctuary, speaking of doors, to enjoy religious education programming. But first, I invite our lamplighter, Emmett, to join me in the pulpit. A lamplighter is entrusted to transfer the light of the sanctuary chalice to the lamp and then go forth to RE spaces where they will light the chalices there. I invite those going to RE to follow the lamplighter as we carry the flame, expanding our sacred space.
We are, and the world is new each day. And with all that change comes great stress and sorrow and also great joy. I invite you into a brief time of silence for reflection, meditation, or for prayer. May it be so.
We are a freely gathered, open, and welcoming faith community supported by your contributions. Each week, 1/3 of our offering is given away to a nonprofit organization whose mission aligns with our Unitarian Universalist principles. This month's Share the Plate recipient is Preble Street Resource Center, whose mission is to provide accessible, barrier-free services to empower people experiencing homelessness. You can find more information about Preble Street in your order of service. Donations can be made now as the basket is passed through the donate button on our website, A2U2.org, or if you are a member on Breeze. If giving through Breeze, please note if the donation is your pledge or a gift to our Share the Plate. You may also mail a check directly to the church. If you are visiting us for the first time this morning, please know that your presence is your gift to us. At this time, our offering will be collected and gratefully received.
Amen. Anne Morrow Lindbergh writes in her book, Gifts from the Sea, when you love someone, you do not love them all the time in exactly the same way from moment to moment. It is an impossibility. It's even a lie to pretend to. And yet, this is exactly what most of us demand. We have so little faith in the ebb and flow of life, of love, of relationships. We leap at the flow of the tide and resist in terror its ebb. We are afraid it will never return. We insist on permanency, on duration, on continuity, when the only continuity possible in life, as in love, is in growth, in fluidity, in freedom. In the sense that the dancers are free, barely touching as they pass, but partners in the same pattern. The only real security is not in owning or possessing, not in demanding or expecting, not even in hoping. Security in a relationship lies neither in looking back to what was in nostalgia, nor forward to what it might be in dread or in anticipation, but living in the present relationship and accepting it as it is now. Relationships must be like islands. One must accept them for what they are here and now, within their limits. Islands, surrounded and interrupted by the sea, and continually visited and abandoned by the tides. Thank you, choir. Each day, I drive from home here to church. I receive the gifts of rivers and the gift of the sea. I drive north, crossing first the Portsmouth Bridge, where I look west to the Piscataqua River, and east to where the river flows and meets the Atlantic Ocean. I cross another bridge, smaller, as I pass through Kittery, over the delightful Spruce Creek, running into the Piscataqua River again and into that same ocean. Soon after, I cross the York River, and then the Saco River, and then the Fore River, just before it mixes and mingles with the salty water of Portland Harbor. As I get closer, I take in Back Cove to my left and Casco Bay to my right, just beyond the baked bean factory. Though the rivers are mostly consistent in where they meet the shoreline, it does depend on what rain we've had. Their color depends on the weather and the light. But once I enter Portland, surrounded by the ocean into which these rivers flow, all bets are off. The tide can be high, sun shining, or I see not much more than Back Bay mud and seaweed. Its color can be green with white-tipped waves, a deep teal, the bluest of blues, or this morning, gray. At the end of the day, I head south again. The water line is different. What was coming in is going out. What was mud is now sea. What began perhaps as deep teal is now unmistakably navy blue. And yet, though it is the same sea, the same land, it can feel as if I am seeing it for the first time. Land surrounded by and interrupted by the sea, continually visited and abandoned by the tides. In many ways, parts of my life have revolved around the tides, with sailing fanatic parents and island-dwelling family members. Our summer schedule was often decided by Mother Nature's ebb and flow. And it's very funny thinking back to that, because while this change and transformation that is nature's constant, the movements of the sea, while they feel like home to me, in other parts of my life, pretty much all the rest of my life, I hate change. I buy pretty much exactly the same groceries every week. I use the same clipper settings every month when my partner cuts my hair in front of the bathroom mirror. Is anybody else here a creature of habit? Awesome, I'm not alone. I thought that might be the case. Because of course, we all know that in this life, it is change that is the only constant. To hate change is, in a way, to hate the nature of life itself. And nature, the sea, provides us a gorgeous example. But the changes in us, the changes in those people who we love, those can be a little less glamorous. Breathtaking, perhaps, but hard work to bear steady witness, to change alongside, to truly take on the spiritual task of acceptance, that sweet balance of commitment and release. perhaps one of the most incredible and challenging parts of being human is that all of us are constantly, always in process. As Andrea Gibson writes, to love someone, and I would add, to love ourselves, isn't so much to know them as it is to know their ever, never-ending becoming. What it takes to accept ourselves is to allow ourselves the space and the freedom to become who we are called to become by this life. What it takes to accept others is to allow them the space and the freedom they need to grow and to change and to transform as they are called by this life. None of us is the same as we were yesterday, and we will be different tomorrow, and some days that is a blessing. For we cross through the thresholds of life's doors every single day. And perhaps you are at a threshold yourself of some sort this very moment. Something is stirring or shifting, and what comes next might not be clear. Perhaps it's your child who is transitioning to a new gender or who has chosen a new name, or your spouse whose memory is fading. Perhaps it's a dear friend who chooses a path that you cannot understand. A family member whose personality shifts as their doctor tweaks their meds. A body that can't do what it used to, or a body that has a new lease on life. Or there's the friend who becomes sober and asks of you new ways of being together. The aging parent who, after a lifetime of cruelty, taps into a deep well of kindness in their final days. We insist on permanency, on duration, on continuity, when the only continuity possible in life, as in love, is in growth, in fluidity, in freedom. And part of accepting the way we and those we love change is to open ourselves and our hearts to the reality of loss. To the reality of loss. For in all change, there is as much heartbreak as there is beauty. And so we must also grieve what we're leaving behind. Now, my mother tells me that as a young child, it was between leaving the door to the house and getting into the car that I had my most epic meltdowns. Because, friends, change is hard. It can feel like our lives are falling apart. It can feel like our lives are falling apart, like a free fall. Buddhist teacher Pema Chodron teaches that things changing, things falling apart, is a kind of testing and also a kind of healing. She writes, "We think the point is to pass the test or overcome the problem. But the truth is that things don't really get solved or get stable or stop changing. They come together and they fall apart. And they come together again and they fall apart again. For life is not lived when we become who we are. Life is lived each moment. We and those we love are continually becoming. And we don't want to miss it, right? We don't want to miss it. And so how do we continue to flow and let others flow like the tides? How do we make sure we don't miss it? Late American playwright Lillian Hellman articulated this conundrum when she said, "People change and forget to tell each other." And Andrea Gibson's poetry offers us such a loving response. There is so much love, they write, in consistently asking, "Who are you now?" There is so much love in consistently asking, "Who are you now?" Who are you now? Not yesterday, not tomorrow, now. And who are the people you love now? In this moment between falling apart and coming back together in this dance of ebb and flow. If there's someone in your life you feel as though you don't even know anymore, it's possible that you don't. And so perhaps it's time to ask, who are you becoming today? You may have noticed by now that each time I preach, I introduce myself as your transitional minister. And I do that with intention, as a reminder, not just because I won't be here forever, but to center the reality that we are together a work in progress. That we as a faith community are in transition from what was to what will be. That we are partners in ministry in a season of the world that is deeply uncertain. And that we don't shy away from that reality. We lean into it together. Ultimately, it's my belief that all ministry is transitional ministry because we are humans and we are always changing. And these institutions that we have created are changing too. So my work is to bear witness to your transformation, the space and the movement between the trough and the crest of our shared waves. Because if you leave this place unchanged, we have not done our work. We know, as people of faith, that in the end, what matters in life is how we love. So how then do we love one another amidst all this change? We love through change by inviting those we love into our hearts, into our truths, into our confusion and our own becoming. We love through change by asking those we love who they are now, by asking how it is with their spirit, how it is with their heart, what's ebbing and what's flowing. We love through change by trying to articulate our own becoming, even when it's really hard, and by listening long enough to give another a chance to do the same. Relationships must be like islands, surrounded and interrupted by the sea, continually visited and abandoned by the tides. And so my prayer this morning is that we may both love fiercely and gently as we and all of those we love are continually made new. May it be so. Amen. Our closing hymn this morning is a fan favorite, Blue Boat Home, number 1064 in your teal hymnal. or up on the screen. Rise in body or in spirit and join me in singing. Much love in consistently asking, "Who are you now?" There is so much love in letting our loved ones be continually new to us. For to love someone isn't so much to know them as it is to know their ever, never-ending becoming. Our worship has ended and our service begins. May you tack and jibe through the winds and tides of change, with love your faithful rudder and courage your guide. Go in peace and blessed be.